central motor is truly awesome, delivering an impressive level of performance and reliability that makes every single ride feel incredibly smooth and powerful.
Stop! Anyone thinking about buying an electric motorcycle asks the same question. Which is better, a hub motor or a central motor? My name is Nikolai and you are on the channel of the largest electric motorcycle store in Russia and the CIS, Margal Electro. And today we're going to answer that question. Let's get started. First, let's figure out how it all works. So, the hub motor. This is an electric brushless motor that is integrated into the wheel hub. The electric motor consists of two components, the stator, which is its outer shell, and the rotor, which is what's inside. It is set in motion by an electromagnetic field. So in a hub motor, the stator is the moving part, while the rotor is fixed in place. With a central motor, it's exactly the opposite. Yes, the other way around. The stator is attached to the housing, and only the rotor spins. Right now, let's demonstrate this visually. Well then, now it's time to take a detailed look at all the pros and cons of the hub motor and the central motor. Let's start with noise. The hub motor has an advantage here since it contains a minimum number of moving parts. Whereas with a central motor, you have a chain which is known to produce a characteristic rustling sound. That is exactly why, in this category, we will give the advantage to the hub motor. Next, let's look at the space for the battery pack. Oh,
this is a great battery, the founding father of anode and cathode.
In this case, the hub motor also outperforms the central motor. Since within the frame design we have a significantly larger amount of available space to install a higher capacity battery. However, the central motor can also be mounted directly in the swing arm, which can basically offset this difference in volume. And with the motor mounted in the swing arm like this, the battery size will hardly differ from that of the hub motor setup. However, since we are now considering a mid-drive motor installed in the bicycle frame, here we must also give a clear advantage to the hub motor. Sad. This comes down to weight distribution. This involves the sprung mass of the vehicle, which is a critical factor that directly affects your safety. When riding with a hub motor, it feels exactly like there's a weight tied to your rear wheel, or as if you're always riding with a passenger. With a central motor, you don't get that feeling since it's located right under the rider, and the center of gravity is distributed evenly. Also, when leaning the motorcycle into a turn with a hub motor, you could simply wipe out. That's why we give the advantage to the central drive. Next, reduction gear on the central motor. We can change the torque by swapping out the sprocket, either the front or the rear one on the motor. A hub motor doesn't allow for this since it's a single unit, so the central drive gets another point for reduction gear. Let's talk about off-road. By that word, we can basically mean any Russian road. We highly recommend that you avoid using a hub motor off-road, since the motor is forced to bear the entire load directly. With a central motor system, all the load is first cushioned and absorbed by the suspension. And here, the central drive rightfully gets another point. So, we gradually move on to the next point, which is durability. Accordingly, with constant stress on the hub motor, it will deteriorate and wear out significantly faster. And repairing it will end up costing you a considerable amount of money, since you'll have to replace the entire wheel assembly rather than simply replacing one individual component. That's why the central drive also rightfully earns another point here. Next up is maintainability. When using a hub motor, even a simple tire change will cause you a lot of inconvenience. To remove it, you first need to take off half of the plastic, then disconnect the phase wires, and only after that can you remove the entire hub motor wheel. With a mid-drive motor, all you need to do is unscrew a single nut, pull out the axle, remove the wheel, change the tire, and put it back in place. And yet another point goes to the mid-drive system. So now we come to the most interesting part, top speed. A bit earlier we talked about gear reduction and the ability to change it. The torque on a mid-drive motor can be adjusted by changing the size of the chainrings. So, with equal power between a hub motor and a mid-drive motor, the mid-drive will have a significant advantage when it comes to speed range. So, yet another significant point goes to the mid-drive system. Next up on our list is the topic of braking. Earlier we mentioned that a hub motor has a significant amount of mass. Consequently, when you spin it up, it gains a lot of rotational inertia, which can interfere with smooth and comfortable braking. And you might end up crashing again. The mid-drive system doesn't have these issues, so it gets another point in its favor. And now, the most important point, range. As we mentioned earlier, with the same specs, the mid-drive performs better. That is precisely how it works here as well. With the same battery capacity and the same motor power, the mid-drive will travel much farther. So it gets another point. Let's sum things up a bit. The hub motor has 2 not very significant advantages compared to 8 noticeable ones of the mid-drive. Draw your own conclusions. I think we've answered in as much detail as possible the question of what exactly is the difference between a hub motor and a mid-drive motor, and which one to choose is entirely up to you.